back to another video. Today we'll be talking about strings. So what are strings? Strings are just blocks of texts, and blocks of text are even like a small text or or large text, whatever it is. In Python, it's called a string, or any programming language, it's called a string. So why exactly is it called a string, right? So the reason why it's called a string is because there are different data types in Python, and the one that we learned in the previous video was numbers and decimals. And the way we represent text is by strings. So let's get started. So how do we represent a string? We did see that earlier. We wrap that in double quotes, right? Hello world, you type that, and then it gets printed. So if we say print, like let's say hello, right? You're basically what you're trying to say with this right here is that print the text hello, right? And you can do that even with numbers as we saw before, 6.2, and it prints that, right? And you can do that either with double quotes or single quotes. So let's say print with single quotes, hello, right? That gets printed as well. So the tricky part is, what if you need to have single quote or double quote within your text? So for example, let's say you want to say it's so much fun, right? So if you wrap this in single quotes, right, there is an apostrophe in the sentence itself. So how does that work? It'll give us an error. So to work around this, what you can do is you can drop that in double quotes, right? So this works. So if you do that and you drop that in the print function, it will get printed. So what if you have double quotes in your sentence? Then you could say, and you can drop that in single quotes. So let's say print, and then you can say, she said hello, right? So this works as well. But if you try to wrap the double quotes in double quotes, it won't really work, right? You get an error. So anytime you want to use double quotes within your string, you can wrap that with single quotes and vice versa. What if you need to use both in your text, right? So let's say, okay, so how would this work? This would be like single quotes and this would work, right? And it gets printed, which is awesome. So what if we say hello, it's so much fun? So this sentence, she said hello, it's so much fun, it's wrapped in double quotes, but there's a single apostrophe within the string itself. So how does this work? This will also give you an error. So this is where the concept of escaping begins. So escaping basically means that you're telling your compiler or your computer is that don't treat this character as the end of a sentence. You are trying to escape that character and going to move to the next character. And how do you escape something? You escape something by doing backslash. And now if you hit enter, you see that it works. So you can continue doing that the other way around as well. So for example, let's say you want to do this, right? And let's wrap that in double quotes. So double quotes, double quotes. So this will give you an error, right? But if you escape the double quotes that are within your sentence that don't really represent the end or the beginning of your string, you should be okay. So see, that works. So escaping, how do you do that? You escape by using a backslash right before the character that you're telling the compiler to escape or as not to see it as the end of the sentence, right? So that is how strings work. What else can I tell you about strings? So in our last program, we saw that we can actually add numbers and print them out, right? So that gives you 16. Can you add strings? What if there are different strings that you want to add, right? So the way you print different strings is by you can actually add strings, as in you can concatenate them. So you can say hello, you can grab that in double quotes, and then you can say hello world, right? That's awesome, right? So you're just adding both of them and they're printing them. So you might ask, what is the use of adding this? Couldn't you just do this, right? Well, yes, but there are a lot of functions to concatenating all the strings that we'll see later. in later videos, but this is a helpful function to know. The other thing that you want to do is, what if you want to print like a new line? How do you do that? So the way you tell your computer to print out a new line is by doing \n. So this is basically the symbol to say that you need to print a new line, and then write hello, it's a new line. So let's print this out and see what this looks like, right? See, so both of them, like after the new line, like the \n, a new line was entered and everything after that was printed, right? And you can use this in different cases, right? You want to write a paragraph and you want to enter like a new line, you can do that. And there's also something called \t, which is the tab, which gives you just a space. So for example, let's say we don't really do give any kind of space at all between any of the, I wonder if this will work. Yes, it did actually. So here, what are you trying to say is that you're telling the computer escape T. So basically, that's the way of telling your computer or your compiler that you need to enter a new tab. So even though there's no space between world and hello right here, there was a tab that was inserted right here, and then you have a new line, like the new text. Awesome. So that is about strings. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions or comments, as I said, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I would really appreciate that. It definitely helps me make more videos. It keeps me motivated. So thanks so much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.